Welcome to day 3 of the T20 Mumbai. Yesterday we saw some high-scoring games where both games went down to the wire. We have a double-header ahead of us today where the defending champions will be in action and hoping to get their first win.
Yes, sir. It's all happening live at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. Iconic venue, the Triumph Knights. Defending champions take on Sobo Supersonics, who also did very well last year. So, in a sense, it's a clash of the mighty. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Of course, the heat is up, but I think we've talked enough about the weather. But let's just talk about what the T20 Mumbai has thrown up. It's only day 3, 4 matches up, and yet we've already seen everything that a T20 match can throw at us. Low scoring, high scoring, great bowling performances, and some fantastic batting performances for sure. In fact, in the first match, Suryakumar Yadav, the skipper of Triumph Knights, was magnificent. A 90. Very quick time, but unfortunately for him, the team lost, and that was a bit of a wake-up call for him. But I've got Milind Rege here with me. Milind, it was a fabulous knock, unfortunately in vain. They didn't get enough, the rest of the team.
Yes, he didn't have enough people to back him. I was talking to him today. I said you need to have some big hitters, and the batting really didn't stand up to the brunt that they were faced with. Surya will have to have another 2 or 3 people to back him.
Well, without question, of course, they made maybe a couple of changes. We'll see. How about Parag Kanapurkar? Because not as celebrated as Surya Yadav, but I'll tell you what, an even better knock. Should have really had a century. Unfortunately, fell just short, and we haven't had a century yet in the tournament. Maybe he'll come soon, but that knock, wow, special, Milind.
Absolutely, for a left-hander who's not been picked in the initial stages of the league. Parag has played such a fabulous innings that one will have to take notice of his batting prowess in the matches to come.
96 from 49, so we know that these two teams are capable of some very destructive batting. But of course, we'll have to see how their bowling goes, because this is the pitch that unfortunately did not produce too many runs earlier on in the first match. And then, of course, eventually in the second match, it produced plenty of runs. So what's going to happen today? Milind's been working very hard. He will tell us how it should or could behave on day 3.
T20 Mumbai, it's day 3 at the Wankhede Stadium. A flat pitch, oppressing conditions, tough for players to put in their best. However, the groundsmen have done a delightful job. Nearly 600 runs have been scored in both the games, and these pitches are used alternatively as time progresses. The pitch that was given to us yesterday had a lot of runs in it. This one was a bit sluggish on day 1. Let's have a closer look at the pitch. It's been finely rolled. It's bereft of grass, totally bereft of grass. There are no marks at all. They've been taken care of. And batting will not be as easy in the first 5 overs because of the moisture. The moisture is absolutely needed because it has to retain the goodness of the pitch. What would a captain do? If I was the captain, would field first. Take advantage of the first 5 overs of moisture where the ball doesn't come onto the bat, and then follow it up in the break by the use of that roller. That roller will help you a lot in shot-making ability. That's what I would suggest. My dream 11, take 2 powerful hitting all-rounders in the team. And that's what will take you forward.
And of course, maybe some clever left-arm spinners as well. I know they've done very well on this pitch earlier on. But just a little explanation maybe, Milind, for a lot of people who watch cricket and need to know more. You say full of moisture. It's baking right now. So is that because of the watering, just to be able to get the pitch organized again?
Early morning, Charu, and even a couple of hours before the game, they do the watering for the wicket to hold on. And that moisture will remain at least for half an hour. And that's what, otherwise the pitch will just crumble with this heat. And that's the reason why moisture will make that wicket a bit slower, probably 4 or 5 overs, not more than that.
And what would you recommend the team winning the toss to do?
Well, I'll always field first, because then you take advantage of the moisture, the ball won't come onto your bat, and then, like I said, the roll is going to help in a big way.
Okay.
Win the toss, field.
All right. Well, then let's get to the toss, Milind, because we've both been working very hard. He was doing the pitch. I did...
Yeah, but Charu, you did the toss.
Yes, I did.
So it's better that you know exactly what they said.
We'll take a quick look. Opening match on day 3, we're set with a star cast. Skipper to my left, Jay Bista of Supersonics. To his left, Suryakumar Yadav of Triumph Knights. To his left, our special guest, former star from the MCA, Suru Nayak. We also have Sona Singh, special guest, owner of the Supersonics. And of course, our match referee, Nishit Shetty. Now, who's going to call? Jay will call. Suru has the coin. Go for it. And your call is?
Heads.
Heads is the call. Mr. Shetty, if you let us know what it is.
Heads it is.
Heads it is. Jay, well done. Good start. Now you guys are sailing. Big win last time around on this very pitch. What are you going to do first?
We'll bowl first. Looks to be a dry track, but in the last game in the afternoon, played on this track. I think so. It was turning out in the beginning. Later, it got settled. So we'll like to bowl first and try to get them out around 140, 150.
You guys are full of runs. 188 or so last time around. So that's working. In the bowling department, any changes at all?
Yeah, we are playing Vaibhav Mali in place of Sashank. That's the only change.
Do you think it's going to take as much spin as it did that first match, first day?
Yeah, I think so. It should spin in the start. Later, it should settle down. Yeah, we are hoping that, and that's why we are bowling first.
Well, a great start. Of course, you have one rung to better this year to win the final, but that's much later. Go well. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Surya Yadav. Well, bad luck with the toss. Fantastic form with the bat last time around, but the team didn't win. What's that done to the morale?
No worries, it was just first game of the tournament, and one game doesn't make you a bad team. I think they're doing it really well. They're following their routines and process really well, and I'm sure they'll come back really stronger.
Okay, you and the management, any changes because of that lost first match? You are the defending champions. A little bit of worry maybe?
Not at all, not to worry. But we've got one change. We've got an extra batter in place of a fast bowler, and that's it.
You can't score all the runs, can you? How's the bowling department, though? And what do you expect from the pitch?
No, I think it looks to be a good track, and we were looking to bat first. I think it's a used wicket, and I always feel in this format putting runs on board and putting pressure on the other team is very important. And I feel it's a very good track. Let's see how it goes.
I know it's a long campaign and teams have churned a bit, but thoughts of winning again?
Obviously, let's do it 2 in a row. I think that'll be great.
Good luck, Surya. All the best. So the news from the middle, day 3, first match is that the Supersonics have won the toss and they will bowl first. Well, we've heard of a couple of changes. Jay Bister, of course, not only batted well, but also bowled rather well as off-spinners. Milin's here with me. If you want to run down the Sobo Supersonics, they made that one change, they said. But otherwise, full of runs. Parag, of course, stand out. But Harsh Tank and Jay Bister started out well the last time around, couldn't carry through.
They did. Jay Bister is an explosive player. As a captain, he needs to take that responsibility of batting till the, if not till the end, at least till 12 to 14 overs.
Vaibhav Mali, of course, the all-rounder change. And Mansingh Nigare last time got a little stuck. And so did the team till, of course, Parag Khanapurkar took them away. Rohan Raje, very useful all-rounder.
He is a big hitter. That's what I always feel. Every team should have 1 or 2 big hitters in their side to take care of the 15 to 20 over span.
And of course, don't forget Badri Alam and Deepak Shetty. Badri Alam, the highest wicket taker in the first season. Didn't have a fantastic opening match, but they can do a lot of damage. Usmani Chakabale, plenty of wonderful players. Thrumil too, one of their all-rounder stars. All right, let's take a look at their opposition, who will be batting first today. We know that Yadav is a standout. He got 90 the last time around, but Karan Shah and Shikhar Thakur, fair amount of talent. Gadi Gaonkar sacrificed his wicket on the run-out last time to Yadav, so we can expect him perhaps to be among the runs today, the wicket-keeper. And Vinayak Boyd did pretty well. Their spinners are, of course, the key, but Royston Diaz wasn't fantastic the last time around. Prasad Patil, More, lots of potential stars, while Sankar as well. And of course, they have elected to bowl first. So all things considered, you have said that that's what the team should do. Is that an advantage? What if they let the team batting first get away to 160, 165?
Well, that's cricket. That's cricket. That's where the batting side will have to take care of it. You know, you cannot go back too much in those power play overs. You've got to keep pace at 6.5 at least. If they do that, they'll have done well.
All right, also a quick reminder about Dream 11. So you got to select your players as quickly as possible. You already know all the stars. I'm sure all of you know much more than the two of us. But get your stars going quickly because there are many rewards, as you know. Okay, Milind, one last word here about the psychology of losing the opening match for the defending champions. Now, Yadav was very cool about it, saying it's okay, it doesn't matter. But do you think that just sort of shakes things up a bit?
It's for the betterment because they will be shaken up a bit. They cannot relax because they were champions last time. And Surya Yadav is a far, far experienced player, a very good captain. So he'll tell his team, look, let's leave it behind.
Well, they can't now, the Triumph Knights, leave it only to Surya Kumar Yadav. They need to get off to a decent start and then maybe get that 165 mark. We will see. They need a win, that's for sure. Supersonics also going very well in the tournament. Big thank you to Milind Rege for joining us. And we're now all set after a short break to get you straight into the action on day 3.
And it's time for day 3. These teams were in action on day 1. One lost, the other one. Triumph Knights, the defending champions, still searching for their first win against the Sobo Supersonics, who have one win in the only game they've played so far. It will be Jai Bista versus Surya Kumar Yadav. Both those captains, I'm sure, will have their eyes set on this lovely Skoda Rapid Onyx, this prized possession. Who will it belong to at the end of this 13-day T20 extravaganza? This car will go to the captain that wins the tournament. We're all set for match number 5 of the T20 Mumbai. Hello and welcome to all of you live from the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The best of Mumbai coming together. As many as 155 players from across Mumbai in action today. These fellows in yellow, that bespectacled young 23-year-old, the captain Jai Bista, the first player of Nepalese origin to represent Mumbai, now captaining the team from South Mumbai, the Sobo Supersonics. They won in grand style against the Aksanderi by 48 runs thanks to Parag Khanapurkar's innings of 96 of 49. Missed out on being the first centurion in the history of T20 Mumbai, but played a key role in winning them the game. On the other side, Surya Kumar Yadav's Triumph Knights, the champions of the inaugural edition, in pursuit of defending their title, have lost their first game. They lost to the Akash Tigers, the debutants, by 5 wickets. Thanks to Surya Kumar Yadav, they fought valiantly, but it wasn't to be. The man on your screen, Parag Khanapurkar, customs official, comes from Kandivali, and ensured a comprehensive win for his side, the Sobo Supersonics. But all eyes, as always, once again on that man they call Surya Kumar Yadav. He played at number 4 last time. It's a hot day here in Mumbai, but I promise you, these players have waited for a long time for this opportunity. It's an opportunity for players, for match officials, and also for those looking to make a name for themselves in the commentary box. We've got a debutant in the com box as well. I'm Manish Batav, and I'm alongside former India wicketkeeper, batsman, or batter, I must say. I'll introduce you to her in a while from now, but Shikhar Thakur, just 75 runs. We'll want to change that number. Needs that strike rate to go up ahead into the 140s, 150s as well. A best of 41. Karan Shah, that was, and this one's, of course, Thakur. We're just seconds away from the first ball. Right, what an absolute pleasure to welcome Sulakshana Naik to the commentary box. All set for your debut, Sulakshana?
Thank you very much, Manish, for all the good words. Definitely looking forward to it. And let's hope that we have a good game of cricket too.
Yes, we will. It's good to see you in the commentary box. Rohan Raje to open the proceedings for the Sobo Supersonics. Jai Bista impressed one and all with his captaincy in the last game. Was very quick on his feet, made the right bowling changes, very aggressive with his field placings as well. Already has a slip in place for Rohan Raje. There he is, Karan Shah. Very impressive in that last game. Last season, of course, these were his numbers. But you want to forget about that. What would this mean, Sulakshana, for these young players? We're going to talk about that through this game. An opportunity it is for these young players. Some are playing for Mumbai. Rohan Raje, all set for the first ball. A slip in pace, fine leg inside the circle. Wide outside the off stump, had a wild swish at it. Unable to connect. Right, Sulakshana, big opportunity, isn't it?
Definitely, it's a very big opportunity for all these youngsters, you know, who will trying to make their mark in the big league, trying to, you know, show their potentials and what they've got. So it's a very big opportunity that Mumbai Cricket has given them. And definitely, we've seen in the last edition, last year, we had good youngsters coming up and performing and getting big contracts in the IPL.
Yes, if the IPL is an audition for Team India, I'm sure the T20 Mumbai is an audition for the IPL as well, as India under-19, India A, with Tushar Deshpande, who had 51 wickets in the Ranji Trophy for Mumbai a couple of days ago, got picked for India A. Lots and lots of doors open. And it's tournaments like these which mean that if there is talent, there is also an opportunity. Where talent meets opportunity, isn't it?
Definitely, talent meets opportunity, and this platform is a big opening for them. If they can do well over here, they get the confidence to go out there and perform. And plus, you get a good opportunity to play under a big crowd, front of television. So it's wonderful, and such exposure is always welcomed.
Karan Shah taking his time. He's faced 3 deliveries already. He's played and missed. That one wrapped on his pads. Cramped for room on that occasion. If you take a look at the field, there's 4 inside the circle on the offside, plus a slip. And on the onside, there are 2 inside the circle. There's a fine leg inside the circle as well as a mid-on. And the 2 fielders on the boundary are third man and long leg. Will he go for a bouncer? Short delivery. Tried to nudge it. Was there an edge? Half an appeal. No interest whatsoever from the umpire. That was quite pleasantly surprised to note that the Indian women's team played T20 internationals before the men's team did. It's a very interesting story. We'll come back to that in just a bit, but I think he edged it.
No, it was a close call, but he didn't edge it, but he missed an opportunity because the fine leg is up and the long leg is right behind. So he missed a scoring opportunity and he'll be very disappointed.
No wide call by the umpire also means that perhaps it got a touch off the thigh pad. Much straighter. Very good control by Rohan Raje. Scampered for that single. They will run for that overthrow. There's catch and shoot from that player on the offside. Some skins come off. That will be painful. Karan Shah did get his first run, but I think Shikhar Thakur's injured himself. We'll take a look at that once again.
Definitely, there was a lot of yes and no going on, and definitely got a run on the overthrow. So, initially they shouldn't waste a wicket in a run out. They should be confident and try not to take runs in good fielders' hands.
Karan Shah and Shikhar Thakur don't seem like Maharashtrians, so it wouldn't have been a case of ho or no, which can sound confusing. It should be a clear yes or no. We've seen a couple of really funny run-outs here. We saw that happening with Kevin Almeida. And let's take a look at the team lineups very quickly. Sumit Ghadigaonkar missed out last time. Suryakumar Yadav, the star. Akash Parkar, of course, was retained. We spoke to Parikshit Valsangar as well. Royston Dias needs to fire as well. Badri Alam continues to be in the side. Vaibhav Mali comes in. Yogesh Takavle, Drumil Matkar. Takavle, of course, a vastly experienced player. Drumil Matkar was retained. And that star, Parag Khanapurkar. And Harsh Tank played a short little cameo before he got out. Supersonics won the toss and elected to bowl first. Happy to chase. It's this track where we saw the action on day 1. Was keeping a bit low, got better to bat on as the day progressed, as the innings progressed. Perhaps that would have been at the back of his mind, Jay Bista, when he chose to bowl first. Shikhar Thakur, meanwhile, on strike. Slip in place for the right-hander. Confidently played on the onside. Will keep the strike with this single. End of the first over, 2 without loss. Welcome back. It's match number 5 between the defending champions Triumph Knights and the Sobo Supersonics. They were table toppers last season, looking to make it through to that summit clash, which will be played in about 10 days from now. Badre Alam, the highest wicket taker in the inaugural edition of the T20 Mumbai. In his T20 Mumbai career, 9 matches, 14 wickets. An economy of less than 9, not too bad. 1 4-wicket haul as well. Right, so that story about how the women did it before the men. Sulakshana?
Yes, we played our first inaugural T20 in England, in Leeds, in 2006. This opportunity was given to us by the BCCI when they took over women's cricket. So since then, the game has changed, and it's been like 14 years.
Oh, that could be close. Was there an edge? He was walking across. The umpire not showing any interest whatsoever. It had to be an edge. Was that going down leg?
Yes, seemed to. He tried to play towards the mid-wicket area, but I think so. He should not play in that area because the ball is coming in, and his stance is in such a position.
This time slightly outside the off stump. Yet again trying that slight walk across, trying to maneuver it through to the onside. Improvisation has been the key in T20 cricket. You played a fair bit of international cricket, tests and ODIs before you played your first T20 international. Was it difficult to make that adjustment? Was it mental? Was it technical? Or was it new skills being introduced? What was it for you like?
Definitely at that time, the game was really new. Everything was really new to us, so it was very difficult for us to adjust. But yeah, we managed really well because keeping at that time we used to just keep in mind the strike rates, and that was very important.
Right, so 20 over game. Good to see these kids come in. We'll see some more people coming in towards the evening once it gets cooler, breezier, more pleasant. Badre Alam hasn't given a run so far. It's been a rather quiet start for the Supersonics. Lightly shot, but keeping it straight, not trying anything funny. Happy to take that single and go across alive and awake to a single. And that's really the lifeblood, isn't it? In this format when the big shots are not coming, Sulakshana?
Definitely. Keeping the singles going is very important. You don't need to, hit every ball. Just can play good cricketing shots. That's very important. And it definitely demoralizes the bowler, on a good ball also, if you take a single, it's really heartbreaking.
When you started off playing T20 cricket, you said, okay, 20 overs, what score are we looking at? What was that number in your mind? Without, of course, looking at the wicket or the opposition or the batting force. Did you say, okay, 6 and over should be good enough, or 8 and over? What was it like for you?
Definitely, 6 and over was good for us at that time, but now it's no good. Now 20 runs, 15 runs, or even more. The girls are playing really good cricket, so it's wonderful to see the way the game has grown.
As you saw a few women's T20 games as well during the IPL. So good to see women's cricket getting its moment in the spotlight, being treated on par with men's cricket, and deservedly so. They've toiled hard for years and years without any cameras on them. They'll have to bowl that one again. But there wasn't any bitterness in your days when there was not much media glare. You just played the game for the passion and the love of it.
Definitely, but we were lucky we didn't have any stump mics.
We'll come back to that story for sure during the next over. Remember, Sulakshana Naik was a wicket keeper, and I've been told she was quite feisty, and I'm not sure if she has any India-Pakistan stories. I'll try and get a few out of her. I'm sure she'll want to jog back her memory during that over break. Very quiet, sedate start. No freebies on offer. No, not much improvisation either by the Sobo Supersonics. One more wide, erring in line so much, perhaps trying too hard, maybe trying to bowl too quick, Sulakshana?
Definitely, he's trying to bowl too quick. I think he should just stick to the line and length. The ball is new, the wicket is hard, and giving away these runs is really not helping his team and the cause.
This takes the pressure off, doesn't it? They've kept it nice and tight. Nice miserly approach, very frugal the first couple of overs. 2 of these 6 runs have come off wides. Karan Shah and Shikhar Thakur taking their own sweet time. Much straighter this time. Will still steal a single to end the over. 7 without loss after 2. Welcome back. In case you just tuned in, you're watching match number 5 of the T20 Mumbai. Is between the defending champions, the Triumph Knights, Mumbai Northeast versus the Sobo Supersonics. The Supersonics are fielding first. And straight away, we've got a spinner coming into action. 7 without loss, 2 of those wides coming in from Badre Alam. Drumil Matkar was retained by the Supersonics before the auctions. Jai Bista, the other one, of course, the 23-year-old captain. It's a left-arm spinner. Possesses great control. No slip for him. Right, so the role of a keeper, not just to keep wickets, but to keep the chatter going. And I believe you were quite a chatterbox, if I may use that word.
Yes, I was. But, we were very lucky, no microphones and no match referees, but later on, you have to mellow down. So, it's good.
She'll warm up by and by. With time, she'll get comfortable with the microphone in her hands and maybe a few of those. Any India-Pakistan stories? Or is it too early to ask you that? Maybe in the next stint. I'm sure there is an India-Pakistan story. Oh, goes for that wild hoik. He'd had enough, but Drumil Matkar kept it straight. You miss, I hit. Shikhar Thakur blinks first. And this battle has been won by Drumil Matkar. A wicket for him in his first over.
Wow, it was a huge heave towards the mid-wicket. But I think so this boy, Drumil Matkar, has impressed a lot of guys, everybody, right from the selectors to his owners and everybody around the ground.
Shikhar Thakur gone for just 3, 7 for 1.
स्क्वायर लेग हो तंग पीछे चले जा टिप्पणी के वो आगे रख इसको पीछे आने दे राजा पीछे चले जा स्लाइड लेके माली तू इधर तू अंदर 3 लेफ्ट
First scalp for Drumil Matkar. Got rid of Shikhar. In fact, it was Shikhar who sort of gifted that wicket away. There was perhaps no real urgency. No need for that shot, but Parikshit Valasankar has come in. 115 is strike rate. Clearly, you need a lot better than that. A slip in play straight away. Good captaincy by Jai Bista. That's what you want from a captain as a bowler, don't you?
Definitely. This was not needed. This was not needed. It was really early. And Drumil is a very good bowler. You can't underestimate him. So this was not needed for the team.
Drumil Matkar, I've been told his nickname in the team is Mattu. Oh, thought about that single, could be trouble. Lucky escape that. Or Parikshit Valasankar, they need to have a chat. They need to have a chat.
This boy, Durmil Matkar, has impressed, and he's such a good bowler. He's such a good bowler. He's a excellent fielder and a very handy bat too. So looking forward. Looking.
End of the third over, 7 for 1. Welcome back. Rather quiet start by the Triumph Knights, the defending champions. Parikshit Valasankar being sent up the order. Perhaps Surya Kumar Yadav realizes that they've played 3 of their 6 power play overs and an abysmal run rate of 2.33. They need to get a move on now, but there's got to be a sensible way to up the run scoring. Not that kind of cross-batted hoik we saw from Shikhar Thakur, isn't it?
Definitely, it was not needed at that time. You know, all the other players should take more responsibility and play. You know, the pressure then comes only on Surya.
Surya Kumar Yadav, the linchpin of this batting lineup. A slip in place, walks down the track. He's hit that through to the onside. Doesn't have the legs to cross the boundary, will get 2.
Trying their best to make use of the power play, but definitely not successful. Rohan Raje and Badri Alam are very experienced candidate at this level. They know their cricket well. They have been playing in the inaugural year last year also, so they know how to handle pressure and you know, at this level how to perform.
I remember the Knights in their opening game as well. Even Surya Kumar Yadav had to take some time to get his bearings right, find his rhythm. And it's only in the second half of the innings that he really took off. This goes to show that if you spend time on the crease, the runs are there for the taking. There he is, Surya. A little bit of room, cut away. That will be 4.
Definitely, what an excellent shot. You just have to wait for those loose deliveries, you know, and definitely they'll pay off. You don't need to take chances when, you know, you've lost a wicket earlier on in the innings. This was a really bad ball by Rohan Raje, and definitely here the batsman has made full use of it.
Yes, just enough room for him to just slice it through in that backward point region. Placed it so beautifully. Controlled it as well, didn't allow it to go up in the air. Now third man inside the circle, saw his fine leg, backward point cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. Happy to just dab it down and steal a single. Right, so wicketkeeper stories then. Sulakshana, tell us.
Definitely, but definitely can't discuss them on national television. There are many.
That's interesting.
There are many.
Were you the fiery, feisty types? That's what I've been told, that you were quite a character behind the stumps.
I can't tell about myself.
Who was it that kept you calm? Was it Anjum Chopra? You played under 3 captains, didn't you?
Yes, Anjum Chopra, Mithali Raj, Jhulan Goswami. I think so. Jhulan kept me more calmer.
While we have Sulakshana in the commentary box, we'll try and understand, get to know the differences in the personalities of Mithali Raj and Anjum and Jhulan. Just a hint of movement, a rarity. on this hot day for Rohan Raje. Would it be a bit unfair to ask you who your favorite was among the three? I'm sure they're watching. If they aren't, we'll send them a link to the Hotstar, a Hotstar link to them where they can watch this game.
You know, all three were good captains. I can't differentiate. I've played with a lot of cricket under all of them.
Sure, you got a favorite. Yet again, excellent line that, but he stroked it away. Square driven it, not much power. Happy to take two. Proper creating shots, giving them the runs. They've moved up to 16 for 1. The big boundaries not coming through. Also want to talk to Sulakshan about how much women's cricket has changed, how much the approach has changed with the likes of Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur coming in. Terrific attacking cricket we've seen from them. They both played in the Big Bash League as well. Good to see the world of cricket opening up to the kind of talent there is in India among women's cricket. Wide outside the off stump. Unable to connect to it. Perhaps the feet didn't move. We'll take a look at that after this break. 4 gone, 17 for 1. The Triumph Knights, the champions of the inaugural edition of the T20 Mumbai, are at 17 for 1. It's been a very, very quiet, sedate power play so far, unless, of course, Karan Shah and Parikshit Valasankar can get a move on. 3 of 6 for Parikshit. Well, they've just had 1 boundary so far. Certainly would expect a lot more. Right. Vaibhav Mali in. Uses his feet on the track. He's dragged it towards the mid-wicket region. We've seen a number of left-arm spinners. I wonder why. Lots and lots of left-arm spinners in action at the T20 Mumbai as well. A little bit of room. Fast, big lofted shot. That will be the first 6. Clean hit for the left-hander, Karan Shah. He's not going to hang around for too long. They need to up the scoring rate. They're up to 24 for 1 now.
Definitely, this young left-arm bowler has a very good action, but the shot is no better. Awesome hit, right outside the boundary.
A lot of conviction in that shot as he dances on the track. Good to see him keeping that flight going, not afraid even after that 6. Most bowlers tend to just the next delivery after a 6 is a flatter one usually. How would you read a left-arm spinner as a keeper? You're watching the bowler from very close. You're seeing what she's doing.
Definitely, it's very important that we watch the ball from the bowler's hand, and definitely we have a level of understanding with all spinners. And we've played for a longer time, like a bowler like Neetu David.
Perhaps too close to plate square of the wicket. Happy to just stroke it down straight. 27 for 1 it is. Good to see a good crowd in. Some of them wearing football jerseys. These days they have an appetite for all kinds of sports, don't they? Lots of youngsters in Mumbai. Happy to follow European leagues. And a little bit of Mumbai T20 as well. Nine of the over so far. more play and miss. They've appealed for a stumping. And the umpires decided to go upstairs. No problem there. This was his foot up in the air. Close one. What do you think, Sulakshana?
According to me, it should be in the bowler's favor. And really good glove work by the wicketkeeper. Good thinking. He just waited and removed the bails off.
Yogesh Takavle, the experienced player, the 35-year-old. Well done. Oh, the sharp stumping to get rid of Karan Shah. 5 overs gone, 26 for 2.
He just waited. And I think so Karan was a little lazy. He was just lazy, unaware of what he was doing. I think you have to be really alert and you can't have a lazy body language. And it was an awesome stumping, good thinking. And I think so Yogesh was definitely, watching his feet till the end. And that's very important as a wicketkeeper.
Right, new batsman in and a new pair of commentators in. Mumbai stalwart Milind Rege and a voice that we're all familiar with. We've been so for the last 20 years. Charu Sharma to take you through the next 5 overs.
Trouble for the Triumph Knights going down in their opening match, and here too just unable to get the bowlers away. But 2 down for not very much, and that brings their wicket keeper on the other side, Ghadi Gaonkar, playing his 10th match, 144 and a very good strike rate, so he's one of their batting stars, that's for sure. For the moment, of course, on strike, Parikshit. Lifts it straight to long on, should be taken. Oh, hits the boots of an on-rushing long on fielder. And the team might feel a little heavily critical, but I think he made a gallant run. It needed a dive forward, which is never easy.
That one swung hard, but didn't carry. Somewhere he stopped to take that one, but it is a difficult catch, Charu. When you come forward and dive forward, you're wondering whether to take it fully or allow the ball not to go to the boundary. So many thoughts.
Again, missing out on what was essentially a long hop. So Parikshit just has been unable to time the ball. He's been there for 11 deliveries. That's not very long. That long hop was, it should have been put away somewhere or the other. Goes again, and this time just over long off. He's living, mid-off that is, living dangerously. Parikshit, but this time he will get away with the boundary.
You have to create that tempo of playing shots, otherwise you get into a groove, and this is what happens now that they've let loose. You got to there. I don't think there's any moisture left in the wicket, Charu. That was a valiant effort. Go for the big one. You got to, otherwise you will continue to plod and you will continue to, That's a good shot. That's a good effort to begin now. This tempo must be maintained.
Just a push, and it's a good hard call from Ghadi Gaonkar, the seasoned player. Let's just go back to that chance created at long on. Man came rushing in, and when you see this in slow motion, you'll realize that the ball actually hit his boots. So you can argue that his hands should have been well in front. And it was just the dive that was required. Didn't quite get down enough, but of course it was always going to be difficult. And it takes special guts, should we say, to dive forward. Never easy. However, we've seen some fabulous athletic standards here in the league.
For such a catch, you need Duplessis. He's taken so many catches in that IPL, diving forward. But of course, the fitness levels there are far, far better than the ones here. They must get going now. It's 31 for 2. They're just about finishing their power play. A bit slow at the moment.
Well, nothing's gone right. 2 wickets gone, only 33 on the board, and 1 ball to go for the end of power play, which has been sent to short third for an easy single. So let's see whether they can up the strike rate here, the run rate as well. 34 for 2 after the power play.
Slightly. Left arm down coming through.
They didn't start out too well in their opening match. Lost their openers with not very much on the board, and Triumph Knights in their second match, again on the same pitch, mind you, that they played match number 1. They continue to be in trouble. Karan gone for 16. Shikhar just could not get going. And Parikshit, of course, showing a little bit of adventurous activity last over, has now the company of Gharigaonkar.
Perhaps tactically, Surya should have come at number 4 rather than waiting one more.
You know, Milind, I was about to say that, took the words out of my mouth, because he can take any bowling by the scruff of its neck, because such is his ability. But Gharigaonkar, due respect, may not be as adventurous as Surya Kumar Yadav, perhaps not the same class either. So he might take a little longer to settle down, which they cannot afford now, with only 34 on the board after 6. Much puller. Oh, well done. Brilliant dive to his left. Well, bowlers always feel magnificently of their own bowling. Somehow lefty orthodox a lot more than the rest.
He's a brilliant fielder. The other day we saw him taking a magnificent catch. But coming back to Surya, Charu, I think the entire innings will rotate around Surya's batting skills. So the later he comes, he's going to lose 2-3 overs.
Well, you're saying we'll rotate around his batting skills. Right now, rotating with him in the dugout. So not a place for him to be after a third of the innings is already gone. Surya, we want to see you in there. Magnificent 90. The previous match he played, and he was so imperious, just hoiking the ball to all parts of the ground. And he scored, what, maybe 60% of the team's runs, 90 from 147. Oh, got him. Brilliant. That's 2 for Vaibhav. Just a hint of spin. And Parikshit playing inside the line, we think. Brilliant wicket for the lefty orthodox.
Should have played straighter, but see that huge bat lift? It went through the gate. Huge gap between bat and pad. Nicely delivered, tossed up, the arm ball coming in. Well bowled, son.
Well, that was a nothing shot, really, just a forward defensive prod, but yeah, too much of a gap. 12 for Parikshit today, 35 for 3. And 12 from 14, so his strike rate also not quite what the Triumph Knights might have wanted. However, all our, what's the word here? Guesses of all our decisions are now coming true as Surya Kumar Yadav walks in. Now, the last time they had a bit of a problem running between the wickets, a yes, no, and Gharigaonkar sacrificed his wicket for the skipper. But Surya comes in at number 5 and not a ball too late.
And Charu, what happens when he comes in at number 5 is that there is pressure because 3 wickets have gone. Had he come at number 3, he's starting the innings with what's just 1 wicket down. So Surya needs to bat at 3 really, not even at 4, because if he can bat for all the teams that he plays at number 3, why should he bat at 5 here?
Yeah, you just put unnecessary pressure on the team because you know that if you go, there is not too much to follow. Of course, you respect to number 6-7 as well. So does he take time, dig himself in? That's his style, by the way. Just relax, push the ball around a bit. See it for now. He must be wondering what is it that Vaibhav is doing today to have taken those 2 wickets. One was rather silly though. That Karan stumping was just so needless. Here he is though. Big man on campus. Yeah, already a little bit of class. Pitched up, just a nice gentle push for an easy single, and here's that wicket again.
Just goes to the gate. The bat comes from third man. Not nowhere in the line. You see that? He plays it late. The arm ball coming in. Frankly, I think he was beaten in flight also.
Excellent delivery by Vaibhav. Teammates loved it. And of course, at the end of all of that, at 36 for 3, Triumph Knights once again starting very poorly in this tournament. They are short enough to make some room.
What they need is a partnership, a 30-40 run partnership, and then things can settle down. Then Surya can take charge. But regular wickets will put them back. Look at this. Look where the bat is and look where the pads are. Absolute daylight gap in it.
Yeah, eventually he landed up reaching out for it and created that gap. Done in by the flight, as you said. Of course, it was the armour. No spin. No! Nice, sharp call by Surya. That's what we like. 7 gone, 37 for 3, Triumph Knights. Rohan gave a few away, but the rest have been magnificent. Badrialam not giving anything, that opening over, and Trumil 1 for 8, Vaibhav 2 for 12. Their lefty spinners are doing a magnificent job for the Sobo Supersonics.
Charu, I think sometime the issue of toss is going to come into play, because a lot of things have been discussed. It is such an important aspect of this game, the toss, whereby you take advantage of the wicket, the moisture, the pace, and then suddenly it dries down to a good batting beauty.
All the teams are aware of that, and you've got to make some sort of plan to counter that, because you know that the first 4 or 5 overs are going to be tough. And you've got to have the patience to not lose wickets, even if you're not getting too many runs. But the manner in which Triumph Knights have lost their wickets has been a little disappointing, I've got to say. A slip now for Ghadigaonkar. And ball short, down middle and legs. Just a single eventually. Badrialam needs to feed the slip a bit by bowling it slightly further up. And that's this innings so far cleaned him up. And then, of course, that very needless stumping. I mean, we've got to say the keeper was very sharp. What was Karan doing in this through the gate? Brilliant. Vaibhav. I'd like to say, Milind, that there were more batting errors. I mean, the deliveries were certainly good, but batting errors for sure.
That's why the innings needs momentum. 1s and 2s, the boundary in between. If you don't do that, then the pressure starts telling on you, because you haven't scored enough runs. And that's exactly what happened. Bad shots, totally bad shots.
The best against the best. Badrialam. Oh, yes. This turns the bat. And there is third man. Will ensure there's only a single. But Surya made it look so easy.
He is in terrific nick. He's in terrific nick, Surya. He's batting like a champion. The confidence of IPL must have done him a world of good. Batting at number 3 for Mumbai Indians.
Well, take a look at this. Very smart bit of keeping. Waited just enough. And although you'd feel that he was in the crease, but the hind leg did lift, the keeper was aware. Wonderful situational awareness. Just what, half an inch or less above the ground? Brilliant. A lot of the I think the batsmen and just about everybody else around the field thought, hey, well, what's the need there? Surely he was inside the line. The foot was up. Well, turns around, but there is a man there at deep fine. These two are possibly the best batting pair for Triumph Knights, and they need to take it all the way to the 20th over and maybe to 150, although that looks like a tall ask at this point of time.
That is Atul Ranade, the coach of the side. Played a lot of cricket in Mumbai, also played for Mumbai, alongside greats such as Tendulkar and others. Plays for the Customs, rather used to play for the Mumbai Customs, and a regular feature in Mumbai's local cricket.
Tough being a coach, though, of a T20 side. I just love that calling, because especially between these two, we had a needless run out in the opening match, but you can see the effect of that. A loud no by Surya Yadav. That's what we like.
Surya is looking to build a partnership here. A few overs, 2-3 overs, and I have a feeling Surya is going to start his attack. But for that, he needs to settle down. But he is kind of batsman, Charu, who can wait for those 2-3 overs, and the next overs, he can accelerate to about 12-14 even in an over.
Oh, pops it up and gets very lucky. Badru Yadav distraught, lying on his back, saying, how close was that? Tricked the opposite skipper. Just couldn't pull it off. Surya Yadav, huge sigh of relief.
How could he have dropped that? Where did it land? Oh, he went behind him by the time he turned. Oh, that's really lucky. Really lucky. The ball held on. Maybe an off-cutter. Stopped, and then it just way behind him. By the time he could finish his follow-through and come back, distraught. Is this the game changer?
We'll see, but Yadav, of course, may want to be a little more circumspect now. Down leg. Not a good follow-up to the ball that almost had Surya Yadav. The next ball is so critical because, you know, the batsman's rattled a bit. Even somebody of the class of Surya Yadav maybe saying, well, hang on, I was really lucky there, so I'm just going to play out the next delivery and get into a defensive mode perhaps, or do something wild. We'll never know now. Down leg for a wide. Last ball of the 8th over. And it's quietly put away. So Yadav is certainly aware that he needs to take his time, not throw his wicket away. 42 for 3 after 8. Would you believe it? An empty plot of land between the short skyscrapers for the Triumph Knights. That was that wicket made in the 3rd over. Couldn't quite get hold of it this time, Vaibhav, but he's in his 3rd over and has already picked up 2 for 13. We did mention at the start that the lefty orthodox spinners will always play a special role throughout the tournament. But today, they've done very well so far.
Actually, I'm liking what I see in Vaibhav Mali. He's coming in nice, easy, smooth action, not rushing into his deliveries, bowling at a slow pace, must be 85. And that's what does all the damage on the pitch, because there's enough opportunity to spin the ball. Spinners must realize that they need to spin the ball to beat the bat. But these days, everybody just comes and darts it down the wicket.
He has given it a bit of air. Got clouted for 1-6, I think it was. Yeah, just a shade short. Should have been stopped there. It's quite evident that Yadav and Gharigaonkar are talking amongst themselves, saying, listen, let's not throw this away because we can still get to a reasonable score. They're keeping the ball on the ground, playing nothing fancy, nothing adventurous, which Shows some good thinking going on there between in the Triumph Knights camp. Ooh, were there two sounds?
That ball certainly dipped in the air. I thought it dipped in the air. Beat him in flight. And straighten. Missing the leg stump probably. Lucky there, Surya.
Yeah, that was angled across, so well past leg stump, and it was only a stifled appeal. And same. Just to push towards long off. Playing very carefully, Surya. You'd expect him to take a step or two forward and bang it over the boundary, but not just yet.
So much maturity in his batting. You can see the difference in his style of batting and the others. Beautiful off drive. Assesses the situation completely.
Didn't quite, he got to the pitch a bit, but didn't quite. Oh, well, you've got to be able to communicate. The batsmen as well as the fielders, everybody has to communicate on the ground. A bit of a potential problem there, maybe even an injury. Lack of communication between those two outfielders.
Both of them banging into each other. Not having played too much cricket with each other, these things are bound to happen because this league doesn't give you enough time to play with each other. And the run-outs and the field placings.
Well, in the middle of all of that, Gaukar sweeps for a magnificent 6. Where did that come from? Not an easy shot. He connected it so well. 9 gone, 53 for 3. Well, thanks to that 6, wonderful sweep, sharp by Gaukar. It's already looking a little better. 53 now. We're 1 over short of the halfway stage. If they get another decent over, they can get to maybe 60 and a bit, which for the last, there it is again. Sweet spot of the bat and well over the boundary line. It was a deep square leg, just a little finer though. Had no chance.
No, these are the kind of shots that create momentum. Parag Khanapurkar going to show us his prowess with the ball after having played an outstanding innings the other day. It was one of the better innings of Mumbai Premier League. No, I should be saying
T20
T20
Mumbai.
Mumbai.
That's the official nomenclature. But he's obviously a fairly efficient leggy. And the Supersonics continue with their spin, looking for new spin options. It's quite possible he doesn't bowl that regularly, Parag. Certainly contributed heavily with the bat. Confidence and his tail high up now. Gaukar doing the right thing, just checks the field, takes it easy, takes a breath. Can't throw your wicket away, not now. Oh, got him! Brilliant!
Just completely beat him in flight to a ball that ripped past him. One needs to see whether it's a googly or a leg spin, or probably a flipper. Let's have a look at it. Oh, he took his, it came in, he tried to cut that one from the stumps, a shot which is not required. He's got to go back to the pavilion for 14.
And it's 54 for 4. Surya Kumar Yadav might have to plow a lonely trail here. He'll be joined by Vinayak soon. Or will he? We'll see who comes in. I think it's More who now walks in, but the top four gone for nothing. And the Triumph Knights team and their innings in complete disarray. 54 for 4. We're not even at the halfway stage yet. How much work will Surya Kumar Yadav have to do once again? Try and get them to a decent total which they can think of defending. So it is More who comes in. Diminutive figure of More. And he'll be wondering what happened to that delivery. How come Garigaonkar got completely foxed? Oh, short. Oh! Did he almost cut that in the keeper's hand? Perhaps into the ground, but it was a false shot.
It's a nice little loop. Oh, that's a no ball. A leg spinner bowling a no ball. It's just not heard of.
And it's not that he's 6'6", so this is a big error. And guess who's going to take the free hit? Surya Kumar Yadav. The field can change though, but he doesn't need a second invitation to go big. The only question is which part of the boundary will the ball go over?
Deep extra cover. That's where Surya normally hits.
All right, Surya, go for it. Dance down the track. And just behind the bowler. It was nice and full, and Surya could not get underneath it. Just a single from a free hit. He will be disappointed.
He's bowling well, he's bowling slow. A small turn there, beat him in flight. That's what happened. It bowled it slower, little bit of turn, and it's always that little bit of turn that bothers you. Because a big turn would beat him.
Well, troubled times continue with only 2 deliveries left for the halfway stage. They're still under 60. Now, the last 10, if you go at maybe even 7, 8 and over, that's about 80. And they could potentially get to 140, but they got 147 their first match and lost.
But you never know with Surya.
I mean, how many 90s does he have to get?
In each and every game, I suppose.
He certainly has the time with 10 overs to go after this ball. Do we see another Surya Kumar Yadav show? For the moment, it's More, who got very lucky the first ball he faced. Ball shot, maybe some nerves as well. And fine leg comes in. There's a man at deep mid-wicket. I don't think More is going to lash out of this one, just a push maybe. Yeah, is that good for 2? No, long on comes racing in. So, at the halfway stage, the Triumph Knights are 60 for 4.
$60 for 4 after 10. That the digit of 4 would have pained this side a little bit. One maiden as well. Not the kind of performance you want to see after the first 10 overs in a T20 game. At the halfway mark, just 60 on board. And once again, it all rests on Surya Kumar Yadav, who's now being joined by More. Surya Kumar has scored 8 of 12, and a couple of bad shots, a couple of those reckless moments at stumping especially. It's just not gone their way. A slip in place. Jay Besta putting himself at slip for Vaibhav Mali, who is into his 3rd over. And Sulakshana Naik, former India wicketkeeper, alongside, making her commentary debut. Not pleased at all with what she has seen from Surya's side.
Manish, yes, definitely. 61 for 4, and the captain has to walk in and consolidate, but still he can do really well. We all know all his capacities.
will not be pleased with that. There was an opportunity to pierce that gap between short third man and backward point. Wasn't to be. 61 for 4. Well, it's been a 90s show so far at the T20 Mumbai last season and this one as well. Trying to drag that from outside the off stump. Will just be a single. How much can you expect from one man? Needs support, no matter how short the format is.
Yes, but he still has to try. He's a captain, and I don't. How much I know of Surya, he'll definitely not give up, and he'll definitely not give up. And the way Jai Bista has captained his innings is awesome. You know, the way his field placements and his bowlers using his spinners. I think so. He's maturing at 23. He's just 23. What a good find he is for Mumbai.
This time cut away. Could be 4. Does the ball have enough legs on it? The fielder's in pursuit. Looks like he's... Oh yes, excellent save that. Well, their tails are up. They're doing well in the field. They're looking tight. No respite whatsoever for the Triumph Knights. Let's take a look at it once again. Looks clean to me.
Extraordinary fielding effort from Vaibhav, I guess. And this is the way, you know, when you've already got 4 wickets and you just want to give it all your best. You know, the fielding effort is awesome and definitely saved 2 runs for his team.
Looked clean to me on that first replay. More convinced on the second one. Yes, just the 2. Terrific fielding effort that. "12 balls since the last boundary. It's been a runner ball kind of affair. No loose balls, no freebies on offer. The left-arm spinners have done a terrific job. Vaibhav just given away 28 so far. 2 wickets against his name. 11 gone, 65 for 4. Well, a depressing looking batting card that for the Triumph Knights. 3 players in double figures, got starts, very slow starts though, but couldn't go on to turn them into big ones. Ghari Gaonkar looked pretty good and then got out bowled to Parag Khanapurkar. A couple of wickets for Vaibhav. 1 stop, smart stumping by Yogesh Takavle. In comes Parag Khanapurkar once again for his second over. 1 for 7 his figures so far. Lots of players have seen happy to bowl off spin despite batting being their primary role. This goes to show that players wanting to offer more options, more skills to selectors.
Yes, Manish, Parag is a very good all-rounder. He's contributed with his batting and today he's contributing with his bowling. What else do we want?
Surya Kumar Yadav, 9 of 15 so far. He knows he's got to hang around to take his team up to a respectable score. They got into the 140s last time. 90 of those coming from Surya Kumar Yadav's bat. No support whatsoever from the others. But he's been one among the more popular players. 94.54% players of this Dream 11 fantasy game. If you look at the top picks for this match, Jai Bista, lowly 74.74. Perhaps, oh yes, nicely done. Like knife through butter. Split that gap just a little bit short. Connected it so beautifully. Just the 3rd boundary for the Triumph Knights in this innings.
Wonderful shot. Backward of point, couldn't have stopped it. And definitely it's a good short of length delivery and a nicely placed shot.
Not happy. Dropped it just short. Good enough for the batsman to capitalize. Will that be one more? This time to the right of the backward point fielder. There is some protection out there. Let's once again take a look at that graphic. The Dream 11 top picks for this match. Badri Alam. Prasad Patil is there as well. 3 out of these 5 players are bearded. I wonder if that counts these days. Lots of bearded young players.
Yes, probably. Everybody's following Virat Kohli.
A quick single. Just played that with soft hands to add one more to the score. 12 gone, 73 for 4.
Thank you so much. I have with me Atul Ranade from Triumph Knights, the coach himself, you know, the defending champions, but not quite the start you would have hoped for in the previous game. So I'm sure, you know, the boys are at it today.
Yes, we're going to try and put our best foot forward. We didn't have that start which we expected. Having been, seen there lifting the trophy and then coming back and being beaten by the debutant team. So it was a good wake-up call for all our boys, and we played some rash shots, and nobody was there to support Surya really, and he played a magnificent knock coming from his IPL form, and we bowled badly as well, and we have to accept as it comes, and got to raise your hand up and try and pull your socks for the next game.
Absolutely, which brings me to my next question. Surya, the captain, did get quite a few runs in, so that was definitely the highlight.
Absolutely, Surya was outstanding. He got his 90. He stayed till the last over, and unfortunately, nobody went out there and expressed themselves, and that was where we lacked. Hopefully, that should not happen today.
What's the score that you would hope for today?
Looking at these guys who have won their first game, and they had posted about 180 on the board. So to be comfortable with, to be honest, I would be happy with 180.
Okay, let's hope for the best. Thank you to you, and I'll catch you soon. Thank you, all the best. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Well, Atul Ranade, optimistic or over-ambitious? Talking about 180 when they're at 76 for 4 in the 13th over.
Definitely, he's the coach of the team, so he has to be optimistic. And honestly speaking, 180 is definitely not possible. Even if Surya tries very hard, also it's from here it's very difficult. Probably they can try and get somewhere close to 130, 140.
Well, at 10 and over from here on in, they'll reach about 148. 8 and over, they'll take them to 134. Wide outside the off stump. Unable to penetrate the inner ring. 13 gone, 77 for 4. Valsankar batting at number 3. This time he's played it uppishly. That is a pressure release shot from More. Third boundary for him.
Deepak Shetty coming in, and More has taken the attack to Deepak, and he's definitely decided that he's going to take the rims in his hands.
Change of pace there. Oh, yes, no confusion. Surya Kumar Yadav running to the danger end. Direct hit. Was well inside. This has been a problem. Surya Kumar Yadav was involved in that run out with Ghadi Gaonkar in their first game. Ghadi Gaonkar sacrificed his wicket. Oh, this time he was running to the danger end.
He's definitely safe from here, what I see. His body language is very positive, so he's definitely made the ground.
More said yes and then turned his back on his captain. This time outside the off stump, slightly short. Was it different for you with the different batters in your team, or was there one standard way of making that call?
No, it was always different. You know, everybody is, has their own ways. You know, some people take start and then call. Somebody are very alert. So it's different with everybody.
Sticking to that off-stump line. Pretty good discipline by the Sobo Supersonics bowlers. Karan More hitting that one boundary that would have felt good. Short man packs quite a punch. It's Karan More. But we are yet to see Surya Kumar Yadav take off. We saw that happen in that first game. Completely changed the course of that innings, taking his team to the 140s, yet losing out. You take a look at the field with Surya Kumar Yadav on strike. They brought the third man in, a fine leg in as well. The Supersonics know Surya Kumar Yadav will look to take off. Well, looked like an angry man. Was he a Knights fan? Was he a Knights supporter? Perhaps part of their support staff. They should be nice and relaxed, Supersonics fans. This time picks it up from outside the off stump, but there is a fielder there. 2 on easily.
Deepak has come back very strongly after getting hit for the first ball on for a boundary. He's bowled the rest of the over quite decently, and definitely bowling to Surya Kumar is not an easy job.
It's got a long on and a deep mid wicket. There's a long leg as well. Enough protection on the onside against Surya Kumar Yadav, who's on 16 of 21. Slightly short outside the off stump, and he'll try and maybe play that ramp shot. Perhaps use. Oh, nicely done. Good change of pace there by Deepak Shetty. End of the 14, 85 for 4. Waiting for those fireworks from Surya Kumar Yadav. It's been a stop and start kind of innings. Just the 4 boundaries for the Knights, 2 sixes in the score of 85. They kept losing wickets at regular intervals. This could have been one as well. Didn't connect that at all. Slight upper edge. They've just not managed to hit that top gear. The defending champions, the Triumph Knights, they would have loved to be inside that car. That lovely Skoda Rapid Onyx. I believe Sulakshana Naik, my co-commentator, is a a fan of speed and lovely cars and...
Yes, Manish. I do have the luxury of owning a few cars.
A few cars, she said. Clearly, women's cricket is doing very well.
Yes, we are.
Good to know. 33 of the last 31 balls for these two. The partnership between Karan More and Surya Kumar Yadav. Maybe see you driving that lovely Skoda Onyx soon.
Definitely.
I'll try and tag along on my way to the stadium. Still going for those singles. No big shots, no sense of urgency. I'm a bit perplexed. Gotta get a move on now.
Yes, but right now their strategy is just to hang on and wait for the last 3 overs, I think. You know, Surya is in no mood of changing gears.
This time he does. Oh, desperate attempt by that short fine leg fielder. His heart must have been in his mouth. Cliched as it may sound, Karan More did not connect that well.
Yes, Karan did not connect it that well. He just was not in no position of hitting that, and Durmil was really very unlucky on that occasion. He could have got a wicket.
Down the track, punches it through the extra cover region. That's more like it from the sweet spot. Now the Knights are showing their true colours. 96 for 4, 1 to go in the 15th. Could Karan More be the danger man? 4 boundaries for him so far.
We are expecting that Surya is going to change the gear, and Karan has started changing the gears. So our guesswork is really not working today.
An excellent bat speed by Karan More on that previous boundary. End of the 15th, 98 for 4.
A hint of a recovery for Triumph Knights and the Supersonics. Well, they have 4 overs from Rohan and Badri left, and maybe 1 more of spin. I've no doubt that the two lead medium pacers will bowl their remaining quarter of 2 overs each. And that's how it's going to be. Shetty comes in. It's bowled, just 1 for 8 so far. So they go with medium pace. And Yadav will try and no, just ambles for a single. He really hasn't been able to get going. And this is now getting dangerously close to the death overs where he must fire big time.
They must try and manage to reach that 150 target.
Score the maximum 6s. Just a quick reminder, Yadav leads with 7. And Sujit Naik, oh, he was magnificent. Parakana Purpakar are the closest at 5 apiece.
They need to rush now, and Surya is really getting into it. 31 of 22, sorry, I beg your pardon, 20 of 25. Rather slow strike rate for him.
Yeah, just a quick reminder with the 2 boundaries last over. Very well played. The sweep is a little dangerous, of course, well behind short fine. And then this was terrific. Jumped out, used his wrist, got plenty of power. That vacant extra cover area should be a favorite target for right-handers against lefty orthodox. Yadav tries to go big, and his back foot point, easy catch. He really hasn't been able to show his best batting face today, Surya Kumar Yadav. And the big man falls for the Triumph Knights. It may be all over for them tonight, but we don't know whether they'll have another big batting hero to come.
That really is disaster for Triumph Knights. An off break, really. Didn't time it. Slower ball. Just lollipopped into the cover point's hand. He is thrilled, isn't he? And why not? He's got the big man out.
Shetty strikes. It's the big fish. Yadav gone for 20 from 26. Very slow compared to what he needed. It's 100 for 5. Well, you can see the disappointment on his face. He just couldn't quite get going today. And I suppose he left it for the last 5 overs to go big. And when that doesn't happen, he left a little red-faced because your strike rate is way below what it should be. Conditions may be a lot tougher than we think today on the pitch, Milind.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. The pitch is slower than what the other one was yesterday. And that's why stroke making is not possible. And with the bowlers trying to bowl the slower deliveries, 105 is not such a great score. With just 4 overs and 3 balls left. That's Akash Parker. He's also the kind of player who played a great innings last year. Look at his strike rate, 188.46.
And 10-6 is the best of 82 not out. So we know he can play the big innings. It's just that the pitch is not quite conducive. We don't think the ball's coming onto the bat quickly enough. And of course, the bowlers are bowling very cleverly. There was a nice slow delivery by Shetty to get rid of Yadav.
Perhaps, Charu, they may rework the target now. Instead of going for 150, a 135, 140 target should be looked at, because you need not be over-ambitious. Look at this, a slower delivery. Surya went for the big one, didn't time it, the ball didn't come onto the bat, and a lollipop at cover points.
Yeah, it didn't look very good for Yadav at all. Shetty, well done. But it does still look that with Morey batting pretty well, striking at 140, and with the big hitting ability of the Parker, may be able to still target a decent score. They could not defend 147 the first match. And the Supersonics have their batting going. Parag got a fabulous 96 odd. They got 188 in their game, even though batting conditions were much better the second game of day 1. But we'd like to think that 165 would have been perhaps par, but 140 or something may not be too challenging for the Sobo Supersonics.
A lot of expectations from Parker. He's the kind of player. Lovely. What a shot. He'll get only a single. The ball not coming onto the bat at all. It came so slowly that it almost hit the toe end of the bat.
103 for 5 after 16. Morey, standout performer so far, striking at 140, 32 runs so far, and he has been joined by the big hitting Parkar. So there are still possibilities, Milind, and the Triumph Knights have to see this positively. Maybe Parker can come up with a blinder here. His team needs it.
But when you see that batting lineup, it doesn't have depth at all, except for Surya Kumar Yadav, and to some extent Akash Parker, who's coming way down in the batting order. It doesn't seem to have any depth.
I was particularly disappointed once again with the 2 openers. Karan got 1 or 2, I think that 1-6, but Shikhar did nothing at all, and Parikshit too hasn't shown too much ability. So it's the middle, Ghadigaonkar, Suryakumar, Morey and Parker, who I think are the big scorers in the future for Triumph Knights. We know that Suryakumar has put in a great knock. But there we are, it's the medium pacers who will finish it off. Rohan, none for 12 from his 2 overs so far, and Badri Alam's got another 2. Full. A lovely on drive, but they will be allowed only a single. Good fielding. We talk about the athleticism that T20 leagues has pushed among all the youngsters. There's another indication. Smart run to his left.
It's very important where he bowls, because he's got a packed onside field with 2-3 on the boundary, and he's going to bowl on that middle leg area. The batsman must look out for that the bad ball on the off stump. There's a gap between point and short third man. Just wait for that short delivery, because Rohan Raja has this habit of bowling a short ball.
Okay, Morey, what can you show us now? Ah, yes, the slash. Went down on his knee. You were talking about that gap, weren't you? He didn't need to pierce it, went over it. Welcome boundary for Triumph Knights.
That is good cricket from Morey. Really looked at that that deep gap over there, and the mistake made by Rohan Raje was that he was too ambitious. Bad ball. Just waited for it, turned his wrists and made that gap. It's very important, Charu, for you to bowl the right angles when your captain has given you a certain field. But many a time, too many experimentations are done by bowlers.
So nobody at the boundary behind square on either off or leg. And that pull going to deep square will earn only a single. I wonder if he should have just tried to paddle that, because there's very little cover, as I said, on the boundary behind square. Just a short fine, short third, and at backward point. I don't think Parker might want some finesse here. He's a big boy. He might just want to tonk it straight over. Long on, long off. We'll see. Needs to get underneath the ball.
So a fuller length is necessary, really. Maybe a Yorker. Let's see what he does. Oh, that's hit hard.
Very smartly fielded. Was that the captain himself there? A sharp throw. Yeah, well, Parker's all about clouting the ball, donking it. And maybe that's the need of the hour. He's a big boy. He can hit a six at will.
Target another 30 runs in 3 overs, and that should be what you should look for. Otherwise, if you're over ambitious, things will not go the way you want them to go.
Just 3 overs and a couple of deliveries left. Not much time. We see some big shots. Straight behind the bowler, struck very hard, but there is a little bit of cover there. Brilliantly done again. And Parker sent back by More. Maybe the right decision. More would have been running to the danger end.
Jay Bista, brilliant as ever. Look at the way he's moved, collected the ball, thrown it, just given that one single.
And that clean collection was the key. That's what More saw. He obviously knows Bista and Bista's arm, so he refused the double. Will he go behind square again? Nah. Deep square only for a single. So again, it turned out to be a pretty decent over for the bowling side. 17 gone, 113 for 5. I say decent over, even though he gave 10, because at the death, sometimes 15 is par for the course. He didn't bowl too badly, just that one boundary that was slashed over. Backward point. Maybe Badri Alam to come with his 2 overs.
That's not enough, really. 17 overs, 113 runs. 25 more, 30 more. That should be their 30, probably should be their target.
Yeah, I just wonder whether thinking about targets right now, they're just waiting for the right ball to be able to hit big. Of course, there's also scope for being clever. That's what's projected. If they go 10 and over, 143, and that's approximately where they were in their first match, they'd be looking at maybe 150. That would require 12 and over in the balance 3, which is possible, especially with somebody like Parker there and his big hitting abilities. More has shown a very clever side to his batting, 38 from 26, striking at 146. That's what you need. And Parker currently hasn't got much of the strike, has just come in, striking at 120. It is going to be More to take on Badri Alam in his, we think, second last over. This is the 18th, and he'll probably bowl the 20th as well. None for 10 for Badri Alam so far.
He should target long off now. The mid-off is coming the circle.
Goes behind the bowler, didn't quite catch it. And take only a single. Maybe he was targeting the area you're talking about, behind the bowler or over mid-off.
Somehow they're not timing the ball. That's because the ball is not coming onto the bat. But you might as well wait until there's no need to go for a slog. Play straight down the line. You must target that mid-off or that side screen straight. That's the best shot on this wicket.
Okay, Parker, we're looking for the big shot. Your team's looking for the big shot. Wow. I think Badri Alam also knew and anticipated the big hitting abilities of Parker.
Yeah, he knows that he's a good hitter straight down the line. bowled it wide, slow. It's a wily bowler, Badr Alam. He's been playing for many a season in Mumbai. His fitness levels are very good. Strong man.
The third man's in, backward point also, obviously at the circle. So a slash or an up and under if the ball is short is called for. Full. Couldn't get underneath it. Good ball, very full. Parker will have to be satisfied with a single.
Perhaps Akash should do what a Hardik Pandya does. Go deep into the crease and play. Stay as back as possible. Expect their Yorker, which will turn out to be a good delivery on the front foot to drive. These little tactics are very important for the batsman to adopt.
Have to dig it out though. If you go back, you'll have to learn the helicopter to be able to get maximum. Oh, well done. It required some innovation. Might go one bounce. That's a terrific boundary. Have I praised Morey enough? Maybe not. That was a brave shot. He had to ensure that he got his head out of the way. He played it very well.
Really striking at 154, really. Saw it all the way inside the line of the ball. There's a very cheeky little shot.
Nothing very wrong with that ball at all. But the improvisation and the risk of it all. He pulled it off.
Where will he go now?
Well, the third man's been moved behind because of that. So we got third man at the boundary. And the pull. There is a fine leg. Well, I think Morey will feel he missed out because a slightly short ball angling down leg. You've got to put away for a boundary. Square leg was in. Now fine leg comes in, square leg goes back. So this is an indication that they know that Parker is going to go front of the wicket. Try and talk it for a big six in the wide V. But for the bowler, that means either very, very full or slightly short, not allowing him the length ball or the half volley. Straight behind the bowler, got plenty of bat on that. That's what we expect from Parker.
A nice juicy little half volley. Played across the line, but he timed it so well. Like a baseball shot. And that's what he's capable of, big Parker. Slower ball. You saw that gap, the right place to hit. I've always maintained you hit straight, you're sure guaranteed a four.
Well, the bat turned just a bit in his hand, and I suspect he'll be disappointed it didn't go for six. More along the ground, just one bounce though. Struck very well. Badr Alam will be a little rattled. Where do I bowl now to this man? Again, Parker couldn't quite connect. Looking at his bat, maybe hit the bottom of the blade. 18 gone. 2 left now. 1, 2, 6 for 5.
Just a little bit short, 126 for 5. I think another 22 runs in the next 2 overs will set them a reasonable target, because that's what is needed at the moment. Don't go for the 150, just take 10 or 12 runs in the next 2 overs.
Well, they'll take what they can get and what they can manufacture. The 13 from that last over by Badr Alam, 2 boundaries. I'm sure it's going to be medium pace all the way through the final 2 overs. Maybe Shetty will come back, or we know Badr should probably bowl the final over. But there is a possibility to get 150 for sure. That's just 12 and over. And I suspect if Parker can get a couple of length balls that he can get under, or even short balls that he can pull, we might see a flurry of sixes here. It'll require some very clever bowling. Rohan's bowling his final over. None for 22 so far. Too short, he'll get pulled for 6, I've no doubt. Too full, well, or half volley length. Bang, over long on, long off. So very critical for the bowler to get it absolutely right here.
I must admit that Jay Bista has done a great job in his field placing. He knows exactly what Parker is capable of. Long gone, deep mid-wicket. One in the circle on the onside. Short fine leg, not outside the circle. That's possibly the spot that he needs to look at. He tried it, but the bowler obviously knew what his ploy was going to be.
You mentioned Jay Bista. He's getting a lot of support, of course, from Praveen Amre here on screen. And what a fabulous A-grade coach he's turned out to be. Turned out some wonderful batsmen. And, of course, the keeper. Yogesh Takale has offered a lot of support to Jay Bista in terms of setting the field. Keeper always has that advantage. All smiles, of course, the yellow camp. They've done very well, or the bowlers have for the moment. Yeah, full and wide, I suppose, was the call, but just a few inches too far out.
Obviously, he's worried that he's going to hit him straight. So he's trying to bowl as far away as possible to Parker. Because Parker is capable of hitting the big ones. He did it last year in that terrific knock of 80 plus. They need another 20 runs at least to be in the picture.
Yeah, they've got 11 balls to ignite this innings, Triumph Knights. Oh, again, was that wide? The bowler's distraught. But Parker, despite being a big man, couldn't quite get close to it. I can see what the bowler's saying. Well, it seemed to be fair. The batsman had a fair swing at it. Get back, Rohan. Get on with the job.
Let's see if Parker has moved inside the line. No, not too much at all. Way down the tram line. He need not even bother to ask the umpire. That's not correct. Raise those arms more wider.
When was the last time a bowler said, yeah, well, please give me a wide, please? Always protesting. Here we go. Full toss. It was high. It may go for a catch. It does, but is that a no ball? We'll wait to see. No, not declared just yet. So we'll have to say, good catch. Eventually a good delivery. Just legal. And Parker will have to depart, not having completed the job he was sent in to do.
There you see a full no ball hitting across the line. Really didn't time it. He should have put it to mid-wicket. Instead of that, he probably his bat undercut the ball. Rohan Raja is delighted. 128 for 6.
Akash Parker looks very, very disappointed. Should be, because these full tosses are usually put way into the stands. Maybe he was a little late on it. Didn't quite expect it. And we'll try and find out his thoughts later. But Morey is still there. He's been very inventive, striking at 150 and a bit. Just what any team requires. He may not have too much company. He certainly does not have too much time.
Vinayak should give Morey the strike. Go for that single. Don't go for anything else. Because Morey is striking at 151.7. And that's absolutely a super striking rate. Give him the strike. Go to the other end.
Yeah, for the moment, it is Morey who will be facing, because it crossed when the ball was up in the air. Vinayak Bhoyer, very good lefty orthodox. 60 so far. Well, let's not talk about his batting so much, but he'll be very useful with the ball later. Morey now. Again, full, and this time he might get a boundary. He does. You have to go behind square, leg or off. And he found that spot to the right of the deep square leg fielder. Another boundary for Morey. He's now on 48, sitting on what will be a fabulous 50, considering the conditions here today.
Yeah, he moves inside the line of the ball, waits for that ball, and just gives it direction. Well played, Morey. Slower delivery, so he could see it all the way. Too many changes in his bowling. Too many innovations. Bowl that tight line, bowl that Yorker ball. If you cannot control those slower deliveries, don't bowl it at this time of the innings, because the last 2 overs is makes or mars the match.
Well, I have to agree. No need for that variation. The back of the hand delivery, which Rohan tried, is a very difficult one. And sure, he may have practiced quite a bit, but it's always a difficult art. Bounces it, and I think that's legitimate. That's okay. No wide, nothing declared there, and Morey knows he missed out on a boundary opportunity. A touch there, a little guide, and it would have been 4. Let's go back to that wicket and see if that was, well, Yeah, I think it was dipping below the waist, so that's legitimate. And Parker just unfortunately could not swing it around, as you mentioned, towards mid-wicket. It surely would have been a 6, but to hit that straight just requires a lot of strength, and he didn't quite have the timing. 2 balls to go. Yeah, that should be good for 2. Cover sweeper will ensure that. And that will be his 50. Congratulations all around. Triumph Knights would be delighted. His playing partner certainly is. Morey, what a knock. Striking at 156. A standout batting performance for the day.
Yeah, he's batted very well. He's taken the responsibility. He's hit the ball all over the place, took his singles, and when the time came, he even hit them for 6s. Superb player, Morey. 50 of just 32, striking at 156. Take it to the end now, Morey.
Yeah, the big feature, the very low number of dots. Full toss and over backward point. He's done that once before, slashes it again. That will be another boundary. Great finish to the over, in which a wicket was taken. A 4.24. Rohan gives away 12 in the over, though he did get the big wicket of Parker. And after 19, it's 138 for 6. So can Karan Morey be our Dream 11 game changer? Let's look at the high rises. Imagine a wicket made in the 3rd over, and the last part of the innings has been pretty handsome for Triumph Knights, and they may now legitimately reach that 150 mark. I'm not suggesting that's easily defendable here, but you just go back into the dressing room psychologically a little more confident, saying we've finished well, guys. Come on, let's try and do our best. And then it's up to the bowlers.
At least there's a chance to fight, because 130 is not such a great score, but 150, you get the feeling that at least 50% there's an opportunity to win the match, if not more. A couple of quick wickets and you can win this game. There, look at him. He just chops it down towards point. He didn't try to hit it straight. He saw that gap. The fielders were right in the circle, and that's what made this a great shot.
Final over of the innings. Shetty comes in, not Badri Alam. Here we go. Oh, swings it around. It should be taken, and it is. Couldn't quite find the timing. The ball was there to hit, to be pulled. But Vinayak had just come in. And maybe it's a little unfair to expect him to find the right kind of timing straight away, because even much better batsmen have failed today.
Short one. Came faster than he expected and hold out to square leg. But the effect is that Morey is going to get strike.
So Vinayak going for no score, a golden duck. It's 138 for 7. Yeah, you are right, Milind. The important point is that Morey will have the strike. And hopefully he can continue to be inventive, because Shetty's bowled well. He's bowling his 3rd over, and it's 2 for 13 for him. So that's a wonderful bowling performance. Badri Alam still has an over left, and the skipper has chosen to go with Shetty. So good move again, or at least a move that's paid off for now. 5 balls still left. Prasad Patil joins Morey, but at the non-striker end.
I would suggest that Morey takes strike for all balls. Takes a 2, comes back for strike, and tries to get at least the remaining balls. 5 balls left. Another 10 runs would do the trick again.
What does the bowler do now? That's a look at the field. For Morey, the 3rd man now has been sent back. So an indication perhaps it could be short and wide outside off. There's also a deep point. Looks like short and wide. But who knows? We'll see. Mid-off is in. And he goes, oh, well fielded. Of course, there was always cover at deep point, so that might have been one anyway. But this is not good for Triumph Knights, because a new man comes in. That was a wicket, first ball of the last over. Got it high on the bat. Should really have gone for 4 or even 6, but really didn't have the time to find out the pace of the wicket.
Probably Charu, Shetty's height allows him that bounce, and that too he bowled a slow off cutter, which could have come slower. More needs to take strike. Just take a single and go to the other end. 2 boundaries from More will do the trick. Will put them back in the game. They'll be happy at the interval, morally at least, if not anything else.
Well, easy to say from here, but the task for Prasad is easy. Make sure you get bat to ball. If you don't get 2 or 4, get the single. Can't have a dot ball here. Okay, I think you've done well enough. It was a lovely delivery by Shetty. Full straight. Prasad just about dug it out. More is back at strike.
This is what teams need, you know. They need a batsman at this stage who can slog, a number 8, a number 7, 6, 7, 8. You know, people who can slog. Obviously, that shot didn't show us that Prasad could bat.
Usually the big, tall, fast bowlers who come in and hit a few 6s in the last over or 2. But here we go. 3 balls left. Up in the sky. Will it go all the way? No! It's going to be taken quite easily by D Point. That ends a gallant knock. Karan More has done very well today for his team. Could not finish it off personally, but he has taken his team to what could possibly be a late 140 score. Well played, young man.
Yes, he did his bit. Steep bounce for him. Right under the bat this time. Sliced it, opened the face of the bat, and went to where the fielder is. Another 6 feet and it will have gone to the fence. But that's 140 for 8. Karan More gone for 55.
Well, the 150 was in sight. But with only 2 deliveries left, new man in. Kalpesh will be joining Prasad. Prasad's got only 1 from that first delivery. It may not spell a fantastic finish for Triumph Knights.
Meanwhile, Charu, Shetty has bowled a superb spell. 3 for 15 off 2.4. Magnificent spell.
Without question, possibly our Dream 11 game changer, Shetty. 3 for 15, brilliant. And the foresight, I suppose, of the knowledge of Jay Bista and whoever else is in his think tank to make Shetty bowl the final over and not Badri Alam, who's much more celebrated. 2 balls to go. Full. And that 2 could be, no, it's not going to be taken. Will they run the 2? Oh, well, yes and no, yes and no, yes and no. Eventually no damage though, except to the keeper's face. I think the ball ricocheted onto his face. But the batsman is still there. Only a single.
I always enjoy 10, 11 or 9, 10 jack batting. The running between wicket is so funny. Yes, no, go. I enjoy it. I love this. In my time, there was Shivalkar and Ismail, Abdul Ismail. They were great runners between the wickets.
Well, you see the throw came in pretty sharp, and there we go, if we have time for this. And the keeper. Ooh. No, just going to be 1. Will they take the second? Yeah, they have to, I suppose, off the last ball. And they have done well to finish with 2. But that still means only 143 for 8 in their 20 overs Triumph Knights. About the score that they got in that opening match. So they're only good for the 140s in this tournament so far. Jay Bista on screen has done very well. Congratulations, skipper. You delivered, your bowlers delivered. And now if your batsmen can deliver as they did in their opening match, then it should be a cinch for the Sobo Supersonics. But we'll see. The pressure of the chase, not easy to handle. And of course, as Milind has been saying, the pitch too, well, a little slower than the team might have anticipated.
Triumph Knights didn't start well at all, and the best player in that team was More, who got 53 of 35. Surya Kumar Yadav today didn't click at all. He was rather slow, and they finished 20 overs with 143 for 8.
7 extras given away. Let's look at the partnerships. 46 between More and Surya Kumar was promising, but Surya unfortunately today could not power on. We expected a lot from Parker as well. Didn't happen, and it's just Karan More who played a wonderful knock of 55. Otherwise, the team was floundering today. What about the bowlers? Shetty, of course, the pick. 3 for, what's it now, 18 in the end. And also a useful performance from Vaibhav, the lefty orthodox, who got 2 for 28. Thrumel did rather well. I think he got a wicket on his very first delivery. So the lefty spinners are certainly going to be very useful. I wonder if Triumph Knights have their own Boyer for one. Altogether a fine bowling performance. And I think we are now ready to hear from one of the players. Manish is down at the boundary line.
Well, they were 60 at the end of 10 overs and they've lent some respectability to their score thanks to this man, Karan More. जब आप बैटिंग कर रहे थे सूर्य कुमार यादव के साथ तो क्या बातें चल रही थी?
कुछ नहीं, खाली 20 ओवर तक खेलते रहना है और कुछ नहीं, बाकी का काम तो सूर्या करने वाला था, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली सूर्या जल्दी आउट हो गया। तो एक जगह से हम लोग को एंकर रोल किसी को करना था, तो शायद मेरे हिस्से में आ गया हुआ एंकर रोल।
लेकिन बड़े शॉट्स नहीं आ रहे थे मिडिल ओवर्स में, क्या पिच की वजह से हुआ या फिर गर्मी बहुत थी?
गर्मी भी बहुत है और विकेट भी थोड़ा स्लो था, तो बैट पे आ नहीं रहा था। हम लोग खाली कंटिन्यू कर रहे थे ताकि विकेट ना जाए। अगर लास्ट अच्छी गई 6 ओवर में हम लोग के पास विकेट जाता रहेंगे तो हम लोग रन कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
143 आपको लगता है काफ़ी है, डिफेंडेबल है आपके हिसाब से?
जी हाँ, हम लोग अच्छी बॉलिंग करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली हम लोग इजी जीत जाएंगे।
आपको लगता है कि आपके स्पिनर्स ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव होंगे इस पिच पर सुपरसोनिक्स के खिलाफ? अगर हाँ तो कौन सा वो स्पिनर होगा?
हम लोग में अब परीक्षित, वालसंगर, प्रसाद पाटिल और कल्पेश, हम लोग के 30 अच्छे स्पिनर हैं। तीनों भी अच्छे डालेंगे तो हम लोग के लिए जीत अच्छी।
आपको जाने दे उससे पहले एक आखिरी सवाल, 5वें नंबर पर बैटिंग की, आपको लगता है कि थोड़ा सा ऊपर आप करना चाहेंगे बैटिंग?
जी नहीं, हम लोग के टीम को जो सिचुएशन रहेगी वो हिसाब से हम लोग के मैनेजमेंट बैटिंग को भेजेंगे।
वेल प्लेड करण, थैंक्स सो मच।
Thank you, Manish. A management man. That's what he says. I'm happy to go wherever. Karan More played very well today. A couple of risky shots when he top-edged, but got away with it. That one being one opportunity. Otherwise, he was very aware of where the fielders are. That was a risky shot, pulled it off very well. And then behind backward point, a couple of boundaries. A fine 50 today, striking at 157. So what do the Supersonics need when they come back? Just, we'd like to say, just 144 at 7.2. That's going to be after a break. We hope that you'll continue to join us. for T20 Mumbai. Fantastic tournament. We're only into day 3. Match 1. There's another match to come later tonight. But the Triumph Knights have managed only 143 for 8 wickets in their 20 overs. Not a very pretty performance, except for Karan More, standout batsman. 55 from 35, struck at 157, and ensured that his team somehow got towards what we think could be a competitive total. That was the first to go. The openers couldn't do anything. And they got a few runs, I think Karan did eventually. That was the one big 6 that he will remember, but thereafter it was disaster. Lifted his hind leg, and the next thing you know, he was declared stumped. That was just such a mental mistake there. I have Sulakshana here with me, former Indian player Sulakshana. Well, much as the conditions may not have been easy, but the batsmen, the first 3 or 4, did not really cover themselves in glory.
Yeah, they did not. They actually tried to play a lot of shots. Instead of that, they should have played simple cricketing shots. This was Durmil Matkar and Vaibhav. The spinners have bowled excellently well. And I think Deepak Shetty at the end showed a lot of character, and he bowled so well in his 3 overs. He just pulled the game back in the Sobo side.
And that was Yadav going. Now that's a real shame, because and that started all out. But no praise enough for Karan More today. Look at the inventiveness there, and he showed plenty of pluck and grit. And Parker, we thought, might be able to get his team away, but unfortunately caught at the boundary. Difficult shot that.
Yes, it was a difficult shot. It's very difficult sometimes to put a good full toss away. It was a juicy full toss, but he tried to, use a lot of power. Instead of that, he would have just placed it somewhere. He would have got a... yes, it was a good 50 by Karan More. Much needed knock at this time. And this sort of innings are very needed from experienced players.
And there we go. Simple catch eventually to get rid of More, but by then he'd done a fair amount of damage. He'll remember this knock for quite a while.
Yes. It's definitely a good bowling performance from the Supersonics, and Deepak Shetty doing a very good job. Parag, everybody has chipped in really well. Durmil Matkar in his 4 overs, 11 dots, 25 runs and 1 wicket.
So that's what the Sobo Supersonics need. Sulakshana and I are going to be here for a while. But we'll take another short break as the Supersonics come back to knock off 144. Batting conditions may not be too easy, but that's not such a big target.